Hello everyone. In this instructional video, we are going to learn about the different kind of layers available, and we are going to learn about how to create the layer from the existing image if we want to do that, how we're going to rename the layers, set identification colors if we have many number of layers, how we're going to do that, if we are need to uh, hide layers or show the layers, we want to view the layers, we want to rearrange, we are going to learn this, how we are going to consolidate document windows, how you're going to create a new layer from another image, duplicate layers, create layer groups, transform selection and layers, and after that we will be going to review the eraser. There are different kind of eraser tools available, so we'll review that. We'll create the layer mask and we'll see how the layer mask is effective. We'll also see level adjustment and opacity changes if we need something to do that, so we can use that. We will apply adjustment using the adjustment panels. We'll create our layer style, and then we will use the paste spatial commands to see that how it is useful. So the main thing you need to remember that if you are getting any kind of project from your client or you are working on any project, what you need to do, you need to first of all gather the guidelines, right? Gather the information. Gather information means what is the size of the graphics you are going to develop, what is the purpose of it, what pictures you needed for that, what content you are required, and what is the scheme, color scheme, or what are the interests. You need to know all of the information first of all before designing it. And after gathering the information, what you need to do, you have to evaluate the best way to move outside the images into the composite images. Then you will create the layer adjustments, and then you will use your edit layer styles. So I'll show you all of these things one by one. So we will be going to create a project over here, which is maybe say planning a classroom or planning a kind of room, or designing a room, I will say that, right? So let's just take an example of it and we'll start working on that. Okay, so here you see this is the white canvas available here, the white background with that. You remember last time, the first time I showed you how you're going to change the background. So when you are choosing a file, a new option, and then new dialog box comes up here, right? So it is white, but you can choose any background color from here and the background color will be changed. So from here you can select, and the color which you will choose, that will come up. But let's say if you already are inside, the background you already had selected, which is white, that's fine. If you are inside, then later on you can change it. So just look at the left hand side tools panel. At the bottom you have these two options which has some colors, black and white. So these are your foreground color and the background color. So the top one is foreground color and the bottom one is background color. Okay, so what you are going to do, whatever color you needed, let's say I want to apply the foreground color. So click on this color and the color palette will open for you. You can select any color what you want to apply. So let's say I want to apply this color, right? Or what color you want in the room inside. Okay, so that particular color you can choose from here. Let's finalize this one, then say okay. So now you see on the color palette, on the foreground color, the color is selected, and now you can use your Alt Delete. Pressing Alt Delete together going to apply the color you have selected on the foreground palette will come on your canvas. Okay, remember that Alt Delete. You have to press both these keys together after selecting the color. Now if you want to apply the background color, instead of the foreground color. So you have to go to the background color, click on it and choose the color, what color you want to apply. So let's say this time I want to choose this one, okay, and then say okay. So you see on the background color palette, the color you have selected has over there is over there. Now you have to use Control Delete together. So you will press Control Delete together to bring the background color on the canvas, or you will press Alt plus Delete together to bring the foreground color on the palette. Okay. If you want to go back with the default color, you will see on the top of the foreground and background color, you have little icon, which is for the default color. So you want to go back with black and white, click on this and the colors on the foreground and background color palette will be changed, right? This is the handler to switch the foreground to background and background to foreground. So if you click on it, see the colors are switched like this. So you can do that. Okay. So that's how you will be able to do that. But now it's time to start working on the uh, lab planning or the classroom planning or the room planning. Okay, so for the planning, room planning, we need the room walls, we need the floor, right? We know we need roof, so we want to design that. For designing this, what we need a rectangular shape here. On the tools, if you see, you have the rectangular shape here. When you click on the little icon which is at the right hand side bottom, you click on it and then you will be able to see many other shapes. But this time I need this rectangular shape, so you click on it and the shape will be in your with you. Now what you want to see the little icon is over there, right? Little plus sign is moving on the canvas. So wherever I need the shape, I will draw a rectangle. No worries about it. What is the size? If you do not need that size or you want the less size or the bigger size, you can do that later on too. Okay, so now it is a black color, but I do not want the black color into the on the walls, or maybe maybe we can use as floor. Okay, so I do not want that color, so I can change it, right? Okay, but before this, okay, let's change first of all the color. That's the floor. So you can see on the top, when you draw a shape, the tool option bar is changed based on the tool you selected, right? So we have choose the shape, and the shape is given over here. From here also the shape is shown. Now you can change the color if you want to change from here. So here's the color palette you want to change. You can change, you want to choose the color from here, you can choose from here too. So I'm gonna go with some kind of maybe this color for the wall. You can notice this number also for having the exact color of the wall or the roof. So see, the color is changed. You can click somewhere to close this dialog box, and now you can go to the move tool to bring this little down. In my last video, I show you, if you do not see any handler to resize the box when you click on move. So you have to see on the top the show transform control. Click on this and then you will be able to see the controls or the handlers. So by using the controls and the handlers, you can increase or decrease the size of the shape which you choose. So as I'm saying, this is the floor I wanted, right? But when I'm saying the floor, so it should have, it's not looking for the perspective, it is not giving me the depth of the room. So to design that, that means I have to change the shape. So when I want to transform this shape into the different shape what I needed, so what I can do, I can simply press Control and then use the handler to reshape it or whatever shape I need it, right? So when you are doing it, it is always good that you should have your grid lines open. So you remember last time I showed you how to open the grid lines. So you can press Control and comma to show the grids, right? So if you want to make sure that the shape you are making it correct, right, the lines you are going is correct, it has the proper distance, everything is good, so then you should go for this, right? Right, so keep pressing the control and then shift based on that. Right, so that's how we have created the floor here now, and now we want to create the another shape. We want to use another shape over here, so we'll say again rectangle and we'll draw the shape here. So that is, you see this is rectangle, but again we will transform the shape and we will change the wall, right? If you do not want to keep the floor and wall in the same color, you can choose different color. So for choosing the color from the palette, you can choose palette, and maybe you would like to go little darker with the same color combination. Okay, so let's choose this one. We got this one now, and now because I want to give the depth to the room, because we are standing in the front of the room. So again I will modify the shape by pressing the control, and by pressing the control I want to give like the shape like this. Okay, so these are my side wall of the room, right? And the similar structure, similar wall, we want it towards the right hand side. So what we can do, we can make a copy of it. So you remember last time how we made a copy of it. So either you can press your Control C, Control V, you can use that. You can use your Alt key and drag the shape, you can use that, or you can create a duplicate layer. So let's this time learn how you're going to create the duplicate layer. So select this, go on the layer panel over here now and see the layer which you want to make it duplicate. Select that layer. So this layer is already selected for me. Right click, and then from here go for the duplicate layer. When you say duplicate layer, a layer will be created. You can rename it or you can type the name. So the duplicate layer, I want to make a right wall, so I will write it down, right wall. See, if I'll specify the proper names to the layer, so that will be easy for me to identify which layer I'm using. So the layer is created, but this layer is on the top of this only. So what you need to do, you need to drag this layer. Can you see this? What layer we are working? So when we are dragging this layer, we are coming to the layer. But see, it's not exactly the same way we wanted. So you remember what we need to do? We need to flip the layer, right? So when we are going to flip the layer, then we are going to choose the option from the edit, and then you can go transform, and based on the requirement you can choose either flip horizontal or vertical. So can you see this now? So we got this thing done. So this seems little bit not proper from here, so I can press Control right. So we got developed the right side wall and the left side wall and the floor. But see here, it say rectangle 2 and rectangle 1. It say right wall for the right one, but it did not say the left wall or the floor. So what we should do, always we should rename the layers based on their work. So that will be easy for a designer to identify which layer is a which object. So you need not to just waste your time in looking for the layers. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to rename the layers. And how we are going to rename the layers, double click on the name of the layer and then start typing the correct name which you want to give it. So I'll say left wall. Okay, and here again double click on this, and this is floor. So I'm going to type floor here. Okay, great. Now it is the time to create the roof. So we are going to create the roof, and then we need another rectangle, and then draw the shape and choose color, what color you need it. All right, and then you can shape it because it is going to give a depth. So you can give a shape, and you have to choose the color first of all, what color you want to give to the roof. So let's say I want to give maybe the white color to the roof. Right, I'll go for white. So I'll cancel from here and select the white from here, and then close this. So we got the white color, and now it's time to reshape it. So you can press Control, and then okay, something wrong going on. So after adding the rectangle here, then go to the move tool, and after selecting the move tool, then you will see the handlers here, and then you can press your control key and give a shape, desired shape, what shape you want to give to the roof, right? So that has become my roof. If you want to give little structure to that roof, you can give that structure to the roof also. So maybe you want to give some light panel over there, so we can give that. So let's do that. So I'm gonna draw another rectangle with a different color. Okay, and then we will give a shape to that rectangle. Let's first of all select the different color we want to give it to the rectangle. Okay, and so you can choose color. All right, so we got that, and then you can place it where you want to give it. I will close this box and then press your control to give a shape, to organize it properly. See how the grids are helping to us to lay out in a proper place where we want it, right? So that's how your grid works. So we'll not miss any line, will not miss any position. And I want one more. Maybe this one, right? Right, so we'll do this, and then I will create a copy of it. So either you can use duplicate layer, or I generally use Alt and drag to do that. Then I had a copy of it now. So when I have a copy of it, I first of all want to change the color of this rectangle. So that's the shape. I do have it here now. What I am supposed to do it here, this is a shape. Okay, I am trying to create the kind of light on a roof. So what I'm gonna do, first of all, I need to change the color of this, right? So when I'm changing the color, I cannot change the color like this as we are choosing the color and putting on it. But if you have a shape like this and then you want to change the color, so you need to choose your paint bucket tool. So paint bucket tool sometimes is not visible because it may be hidden behind the gradient tool. So remember that you can just open the gradient tool if it is not visible to you, and then select paint bucket tool. So now here I'm going to select the paint bucket tool, and after selecting it, I'm going to select the color, what color I want to place it. So I want it white color here, and then after choosing the white, is not coming up here, right? You see this icon. So what you need to do, you have to rasterize the shape. When you see the little icon at the bottom of the layer, that means this is a smart shape. So you need to rasterize. Sometimes it asks you to rasterize it and give you the options. You can say okay. Sometimes it does not give it to option. So you have to go and right click and choose the rasterize option. So here we will click on OK. And when I say click on OK and put the paint bucket, so see the color is changed, right? So now I'm going to put this box here and reduce the size according to my choice. So the size has to be a little bit less than the previous one. So we are kind of adjusting the size here now. Right? So just have to adjust the size like this way so that we can have the proper look of the floor. All right, so that's how you can see the roof here now. Now we have designed the room, but if you see the background, the back wall does not look good to you. So you can create another rectangle and give the color to the wall, whatever color you needed. So select the wall and then choose the color. So I will go with the color which we had used for the right and the left wall. That's the color. So that is the room layout has been created for us. Okay, so that is the room has created. Now it's time to create some layout where we're gonna place chairs. We want to place table. If there's some kind of posters going on the wall, so where it's gonna go, all these we can design. Okay, so here's the time. Again, see the shapes. These shapes are playing a very important role. I'm going to take another rectangle to draw a painting on the wall. So I'm going to create the rectangle. This rectangle painting will go on the wall, but that does not looks good. So you can choose any color to give the painting on the wall. I can choose that color. Okay, here is this. But what I need to, again, I need to reshape it, right? This painting cannot go this way. If this go on the front wall, that's okay. It can go on the front wall anywhere, but this cannot go here, right? So what I need to do, I have to give a shape. If somebody is looking the room from the front, so how these paintings are going on the wall. Okay, so here is the thing. You have some tools available in the edit menu when you go to edit and you go to the transform. Here you see the number of options: scale, rotate, skew, distort, and perspective. So let's choose the skew tool now. When you have the skew, you can skew the shape in which you need it, right? So now you can see how we are going to arrange this rectangle to place it on this wall. So it is something working like we were using before that, the control key, and we were using handler to reshape that. So somehow we are using the similar kind of things using this skew, right? So I'm telling you all the things you can use, right, by the shortcut keys or by the options. Then it's up to you, whatever. It's not necessary that you have to use the same way, right? But whatever feels comfortable to you can use that one. So if you want the bigger size of the painting like this, you can increase the size, right? And then after fixing it, pressing enter, fix it, and then you can move it a bit ahead or a bit backward like this. If you want similar kind of painting towards your on the right hand side wall also, so you can make same thing. You can make a copy of it, alt and drag, and then you can flip it, right? So in this case, flip, if you use flip command from the Okay, can you see this? If you select flip command from the edit, but when you go and transform, here's the flip option, flip horizontal. So it is flipped and now you can place it on the wall. Okay, so we have two-sided painting. You can put any designer painting over here, whatever based on the classroom or the posters you need. If you need one or two, so how many you needed, you can paste based on that. Okay, or maybe the, if it is a classroom, maybe it's a kind of chalkboard or maybe a dartboard, any kind of board you're going to use it, you can use that. Okay, and now it's time to place the podium, it's time to place the chairs, right? So let's take out the podium and the chairs. So it is the time to place the other furniture into the classroom. So we do have some furnitures here. So we need to clean it out, those furniture, and then we will add those furniture into our classroom. So here I have a folder. I have some pictures available here into this folder. And then I can choose chair, and I have podium over here. I have tables here. So just do one thing. Let's just view in a small icon. So we can see that we have some options available here. Whatever you needed, you can just drag that. So let me drag this podium here. So here we have the pictures available, and now what we can do, we can simply drag the picture, whatever we need podium, so we can drag it. Okay, so we are trying to open a picture. Somehow it is giving some problem to me. So I will choose another method to open a picture. File, open. And this, I really want to show you this method too. So let's say I want to open this picture, right? And click on open. So podium is open now. See, the another file is open. The one is here, the one is here. And we want this podium on our file. So what we can do, we can arrange both the files together first of all. So we go to the window option and here we say arrange. How you want to arrange, tile all vertically or tile all horizontally, or two up horizontal, two up vertical. How do you want them? So I will choose that. Now see, we have both the files together, and simply you can drag this picture here on the canvas you needed, right? So see, the copy of the picture is available here, and then you can close this picture, right? So that's how we have the copy of the picture here now. So you can start working on the picture. If you want to increase the size, you can increase the size, right? Now see that thing over here, what I wanted to show you, that we have taken the podium here, but see at the, see the podium is having some background which you want to get rid of it, right? So one option here, in my previous video I showed you that how you're going to extract the object. So you have the selection tools over here, like you have lasso tools, and in that lasso tools you have magnetic lasso tool, polygonal lasso tool, or lasso tool itself you can use it. Instead of that, I showed you the quick selection tool and the quick selection tool and the magic wand tool. So you can use any one of them too to get rid of this background. Besides that, what do we have? We have the eraser tool also. So here in the, we have eraser tool, we have background eraser tool, we have magic eraser tool, right? So you can use any one of them to get rid of this background. So I'm going to use the background eraser tool, and see the icon is so small. So if you press the bracket keys, closing bracket to increase the size of the eraser, or opening bracket to close the to reduce the size of the eraser. So open and close brackets are used to increase or decrease the size of the eraser. Which bracket we are using? We are using the curly braces or square brackets, not the round brackets. Remember that. Okay. And now after having the desired size, you have it of the eraser, you can start erasing it. Right? So if something messed up, then you can just go back and do Control C. You just need to make sure that you are not erasing any content uh, on the podium. You can use your hand tool to see the details. You can use a zoom tool to, here we have used magic eraser tool to erase the background, but you see few background, few portion of the background is not clean, so we can use another background tool over here, which is a magic eraser tool. We can use it to get rid of this. So like this, you can erase that, but you need to just make sure that you're using your eraser tool on the right place. All right. To erase this part, I can use this eraser tool. I need to increase the eraser size a bit, like this. Okay, here you go. So now you see our podium is cleaned. It does not have any background now. So we can place this podium anywhere on this classroom. Okay, you can decrease the size based on the classroom because we do not want such a big podium. We have many things to place in the classroom, right? So here you see if you are placing over here, it looks good, but if you want to place into the different place, maybe towards the left hand side of the classroom, that means you need to change the direction of the classroom. So for changing the direction, then you have with you the transform tools, which we had learned before. So in the transform tool, you can use perspective, and based on the perspective, you can switch, you can change the direction of the podium where you want to switch, but make sure that you are when you are working, follow the grids so that you can switch properly. And if you messed up something, you have your history tool with you to go back to the history and then fix it, come back again. Or I can use Control Z, or Okay, let's go back to history. I messed up something with this. Here's it. So you can see how much eraser tool we have used it, right? Yes. Okay. So can you see this? We have switched the perspective of the podium, right? Now you can place it. Let's say you want to place it here. So you can place it here. Okay. Now it's time to pick up, and if you want to increase the size of the podium a bit, you can increase that. Here's it. Here you go. Got it? Okay. Now next thing what we want to do, we're going to bring the table and chairs. So let's go and click on file and open the chair, whichever chair you needed. You can fix it. I found this on the Google and just place it here. Okay. So I'm going to select both of the pictures one by one and going to open them here. Now you can see these two pictures are open in a separate files. Again, the same thing, we can do it as we did before. We can arrange all these windows together and then we can drag the pictures. So we are going to use two up vertical. Here you go. We got the table here, and then you can get rid of the table background the same way we did. I'm gonna close this table from here, and now I need to bring the chair, so I will use arrange, two up vertical again, and then drag the chair here. We got it, and now I'm gonna close this chair file. Okay, so same way we're going to use to get rid of the background from the table and chair. Okay, and then we will arrange that. So okay, let me use this chair to get rid of this background. So what I will do, first of all, I will increase the size of the image so that I can see the details of it. Either you can use a magic eraser to get rid of this background, or you can use your selection tools and you can extract this image from there. Okay, so we have seen how to use the eraser tool. Okay, now you see how quick it is. You have Control Z, you messed up something with that. So you can use the combination of eraser tool to get rid of the background. If there's a single color picture, you can simply use your background eraser tool, and that's gonna give you the accurate picture without the background. I need to enlarge this picture more. So that I can see this picture clearly and I will be able to use my eraser tool perfectly on it. Okay, and then I simply use this eraser to plane this picture. Alright, so that's how you can clean it. Okay, I'm going to decrease the size of the picture to adjust it in the classroom like this. Okay, so we got this picture now, and again when I'm placing this picture should face towards the podium and it's not there. So what we need to do again, we have to change the direction of the chairs towards the podium. So we can use again the edit option and then use transform. Out of the transform you can use perspective to change the perspective of this picture, direction of the picture. So like this we can use the perspective, and we can use another transform tools like it is available over here in the transform option, scale, rotate, skew, distort, and perspective. We can use that to change the direction of the picture. And then we want to arrange more chairs in the room, so you can make a copy of it. I'm using the same thing, Control Alt and dragging, using my left mouse button to drag the picture to make a copy of it. Or we can use the what's going on, select the picture and drag and arrange the chairs how you want to arrange in the room. Right, so that's how we can create the classroom. Right, so if you need something else, you want to place some plants over there, you can place that. Now you can see number of copies has created on the layer. Right, so maybe you feel like, okay, this is the layer, over here, it is, I do not need this, or maybe later I may use it. So what I can do right now, if you do not use it and you feel you may use it later on, so you can hide this layer at this moment. So you know the visibility icon on the layer, the eye icon, this is known as visibility icon. So if you click on this, the eye will become off and this icon, this layer will be hidden from the main platform or from canvas. Right, and later on if you need it, you can switch on the layer and picture will be visible on the canvas and you can utilize it how you want to do it. Okay, so that's how we're going to do it. But sometimes after creating it, you need to switch the pictures, or you need to put this picture on the top of it. So let's say this is the picture here, this chair here, I want to bring it here, but when I'm bringing it here, this chair is going back side of the other chair. So in that case, what I need to do, I need to arrange this layer. I have to bring this layer on the top. So I will go to the layer panel, select this layer and bring it on the top, drag it on the top to rearrange it. So can you see this? Now this layer is rearranged, right? So I can switch this picture, I can bring this here and I can arrange it here like this. So like this you can rearrange the layers. Either you can use your brackets to bring the layers up and down, or you can use your mouse pointer to drag the layers. Okay, that's the one way. Second thing, when we can change the color of the layer also. So when we are going to change the color of the layer, the benefit is like you have number of layers. When you have number of layers, you are not able to identify them. So what you can do, you can give them the different colors for the identification, right? So how you're going to change the color of the layer, select the layer of which you want to change the color. Right click and see at the bottom you have the number of colors available: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, gray. So whatever color you want, you can choose it and see the visibility icon. The background around the visibility icon is changed into the color. Same way you can use another one. Maybe I want to say, okay, all of these layers belongs to the chair. So I can select all of them and then right click and choose red. So that means all this red layer belongs to the chairs. All these rectangle layers belongs to the wall. So like this you can create your identification, that how you want to identify a particular object. Now I see I have number of layers into the chair section and kind of giving a huge number of section of layers. So what I want to do, if instead of showing all of them together, because at this moment I do not want to see all of them, so what I can do, I can create a group and then I can place all of these similar kind of layers into one group. So we can do that too. So what we can do, we can create a group. If you see at the bottom of the layer panel, you will see a folder next to the create new layer. Click on this and group will be created. So you can rename that group by right clicking, by double clicking on this. As you rename the layers, you can rename the group also. So maybe I will name it chair group, and then I will place all the chair good layers into this. So my all the chair layers on the top, let's see, then my layer was selected and all of them is into this. So now I do not see any of the chair layer outside, and you see the group of it. So when you have a group, when you select a group, the whole group is selected and you can easily identify that, right? After doing this, what you need to do after finishing all of your work, then you just need to select all of them and you have to create a composite layer. But I will say, before creating a composite layer, you have to always save your file in the PSD format or PDF format, which is Photoshop format, which you, if you need to make any changes, you can use that to make any changes. So I'm going to save first of all my file in the PSD format. So I will go file and save as, and you can choose where you want to save it, either on your cloud or on your computer. So I'm going to save here in this folder, right? And I can rename, I can name it. We are using over here the layers. So I'm gonna put name of my file as working with layers. Okay, and see at the bottom the PSD is selected, so file is saved at PSD. After selecting it, if you are creating a project which will go on your website, so you have to go and save file and you will say export, and here you will save for web. When you say save for web, over here you can specify the size, what size you want, which will go on your website. 2100 to 1500 is so much, right? So what you can do, you can say you want the 50% of it, so you can type it here, or maybe you can say 25% of it. So that's the size will be create for you. Okay, and then after doing this, you can simply, you can see this how it looks like over here, what is the original one, right? What is the optimized one, and then you can save it. And where you want to save it, you want images only, right? We want only images right now, working with layers, and then save it. Now file is saved. We want to go back to the folder and see if my files are saved. So see over here, I do have my files saved. So I do have my working with layer PSD file, but I do not see my image. Where is my image? So let's go back and see. So if I'm gonna save again, it will going to show me the location where I have saved it. Not this option, file and say export and save for web. So when I'm doing this, I typed here 25%, right, which is correct, which is the original image. It looks like this. Now when you say save, it is saving in the document. Okay, working with layer in the documents. Maybe I'm gonna save in the PC. On this PC I have my C drive, and in the pictures folder I'm gonna save it. Okay, and it is a zip file, remember that. Save. So now file is saved and it will go back and see. So this is a file which is going to go on your website. That looks a good picture to me, right? So the same way you can design whatever wall, whatever design you want to design, you can design that. In what manner you want to design the classroom, you can design that classroom also, right? So I'm closing the rest of the pictures, and after doing this, now you can compose it. So what you need to do, you have to come back here, right click, and then you have to flatten the image. When you are flattening the image, all of the, and discard hidden layers, okay, all of the layers will convert it into the one. Now it has become one picture. So after creating the flatten the image, then you can save your picture or save your file either into the GIF or JPEG, which will go on your website. Okay, so here we're gonna close this video. I hope you understand and you like it. Thank you so much.